Hello, Oboe Files! Thank you for coming to check out some free Oboe resources for Oboe teachers and students and people who just like the oboe. Today, we have a special guest, an amazing oboe player and friend, Gina Ford, who is now the principal of the Dallas Opera.
Yes.
Yeah, is everything true?
Yes.
True. Okay, all right.
No lies.
Okay, so Gina, we are really interested in how to, one, practice, and two, how to prepare for auditions.
Okay.
Do you think you could help us?
Those are such big questions. I will start with your second question.
Okay.
For auditions, I really like to make an audition book, an official book that I use. So pretty much as soon as I decide that I'm going to do something, whether it's a festival audition, for grad school, undergrad, for a professional orchestra, I take the list that they've given me and I make that my front page, and then I arrange all of my music according to the list and make my nice copies front and back, and I take it to a copy store and get it bound with like a clear front, and I usually make 2 of those, and that way when I go play for somebody I can hand them all of my repertoire and we can go through, they can make me notes. And that really helps me stay focused. You know, if that's the only thing on my stand, I'm not thinking about some random etude or some cool piece. You know, I just try to focus on that. And that's really helped me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you work on other things while you're preparing for auditions?
Something that's recently worked well for me is to play the first 2 pages of the Vademecum, the scale arpeggios, and you know, I kind of think that could be anything, but for me I just found that doing the same thing every day kind of helped me figure out how my reeds were feeling. I think those are helpful too. They help you feel if you have good low note attacks and just to get the air moving. But I kind of think anything could work if you have a good scale routine. So maybe some kind of long tone or fundamental just to get you started before you jump into excerpts, you know?
Yeah, so do you have any tips on how to prepare for the actual audition itself?
Yes. I asked somebody that I know who played in one of the world's great orchestras. I'll just leave it there. I asked him what his practice routine was like. And he said that he practiced for about 3 hours a day, which honestly isn't that much. You know, I think a lot of people probably practice that much. Yeah. Maybe not all oboists.
So go practice!
But he recorded every minute of it and then would listen back to it. And so I tried to incorporate that into my practice. And as I was getting closer and closer to an audition, I would run the whole list in a different order every day, as if it were the audition, and just record it on my iPhone, and then either immediately after or a few hours later, listen back to it and kind of critique myself as if I were a committee member. And that just helped me get some space from my playing and to be more honest with myself about what was happening. So the big thing for me has been recording myself, even on a simple thing like a phone.
You would record your whole practice session?
No, that was too much for me.
Okay.
But I would set aside a time, you know, really the end of my practice where I'm going to run through the list and I'm not going to stop no matter what. It's like the real audition, and I would record that.
Okay.
And then, you know, maybe 2 hours later, listen to it with my music and kind of make notes. And it was shocking what mattered and what didn't.
Can you give an example?
Like I just realized I basically had no dynamics. I thought I was doing these great dynamics and you just couldn't hear them at all. And so I realized I really needed to broaden my range, and I would get obsessed about sometimes, you know, when you get a little tip noise or like a little spitty sound in your reed. I hate that. So for me that's like the end of the world, you know, if you're playing something and that happens. And I kind of realized I couldn't hear it in the recordings and I needed to get over it if it happened and just keep playing.
That's super valuable because I get like that inside my head when I'm
Yeah,
playing.
you know, I just think oboes hate that sound,
Yeah.
like a raspy, spitty sound, and so that would happen to me, and I would be like, well, that's it, it's over, it's ruined, and it turns out you can't really tell.
Interesting. That's really good advice. So, record yourself. That's super important. That's my favorite tip so far. And the other one was make a booklet. We should put this in reverse order. So number 1, you're going to want to make a booklet to keep yourself organized, and secondly, record yourself.
Yeah, and you know, also part of that was I didn't have regular lessons. So I needed someone to hear me, and that was me. But if you have a weekly lesson, it may be just a good thing to check in with yourself in between lessons. Maybe you don't need to record yourself so much if you have a set of ears that you trust.
Okay. So what about daily practice in general when you're not preparing for an audition? Or even if you are, like, how do you kind of go about those 3 hours that you mentioned?
Oh, I wish it were 3 hours. I would be so much better. I still play those vade-mecum scales every day, at least. Like, even if I'm feeling crummy or I have a headache or whatever, I'll at least do that, and then I feel like I did something. That's like my maintenance. And then I usually spend some time making reads after I've played a little bit, and that might be like a 1 hour total session. Then maybe I put my oboe away and come back later, and I would spend an hour working on, like right now I'm preparing operas that are coming up. So I might spend then later in the day another hour of like really working on the parts, listening to a recording myself or other music. So I usually split it up into 2 practice sessions of maybe an hour to an hour and a half. And if I need more time, I would take another break and probably do it later. So I'm never playing for more than an hour probably. And then I have some reed making time that I do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for letting us know this information. It's super helpful. All right, so we're going to play a rapid fire question round.
Okay.
So just pick your favorite out of these 2. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm bracing myself. Wait, what do I do? I think I'm
I'll give you 2 choices. You pick which one you like better. Okay. Morning practice or evening practice?
morning.
Ooh, either. But secretly morning. Spaghetti or macaroni?
Macaroni.
Cake or pie?
Cake. No question. If you pick pie, you're a monster.
Okay. Clarinet or bassoon?
Bassoon.
Bassoon.
Double green
Ooh,
pride.
yeah, okay. Okay, last question is the oboe or not the oboe?
The oboe!
Yeah! Thanks, Gina. It's so good to talk to you. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome oboe help and, just general funness on the instrument. And when in doubt, play beautifully. Gina always does.